Sunim, it's an honor to be able to ask a question. I was actually expect to have a chance to ask question next week, so I'm kind of you call me on a off guard here. Um, so I have so many questions, but uh, lately I've been hearing from all the people that I am kind of obsessed with Pomnyun Sunim, and my husband been saying like past 2 years I've been following Pomnyun Sunim very closely. I've been watching Jungto like throughout the day, and then I have my earpiece on and listening to his voice and then fall asleep. And then that got into like really doing the 108 prostration challenge. And then after that was done, I actually uh, went into studying the Dharma School in Korean, the Jungto 대학. And I just got done, and I'll be going to 경전대학. So, and then I've been doing like Wednesday meetings and waking up 5 o'clock in the morning, and then also like attending, you know, meetings like this. So he's kind of, well, I see that you've been kind of really obsessed with it, like volunteering my time with Jungto, doing the translation now, and I'm trying to see if there are more ways that I could do for Jungto Society. And so my question is, I found myself when I was denying it, I felt tension. And then once I kind of really asked myself, you know what? He is right. I am obsessed. So I kind of once I say, honey, you know what? You're right. I wish I could learn more. I wish I could actually listen to him all day long, because the more I listen to him, I actually have a dictionary put together for all the things that he, taught us. Like happiness is a state of no um, suffering. And then what is suffering? Suffering is negative mindset. And then we put us in, and then torturing ourselves with the memories from past, or the anxieties that like we bring from future that hasn't happened yet. So I kind of have about 20 things that all the words that he gave me very clear definitions that actually changed my life completely. I actually sent him a letter to in Korea, and actually sent the second letter about a week ago. And I think by the time he goes back to Korea, he probably able to get it. So my question, okay, bottom line is, so how do I answer that, like to my friends and families and people who knows that I'm um, like really practicing every day, try to be more involved with the Jungto Society, without having them, worry about me. Like, is she into a kind of cult? Should we worry about it? Like, I just want to tell them, you know what? I'm totally fine. Look at me, how happy I am compared to 5 years ago. I mean, I'm totally different person compared to past 5 years. I think she knows. She interviewed me before too. For I had some crazy questions. I was suicidal, and I had this really ill mindset, but that's completely gone. And it's like past 2 years, every time I was watching Pomnyun Sunim, I was almost watching, try to find the false in him. Like it's too good to be true, almost. Like, you know what? I'm going to catch this guy saying something wrong so I can prove myself. This is not like a definite answer for my suffering. But every time, every given moment, he proves it again and again and again. His inside is the answer. Having the like life, um, just happy life. So how do I tell people who are, you gotta just whoa calm down, like you're too involved with the Jungto Society, and what do I tell them? Because there's no way I want to stop anything that I'm doing right now. So how do I tell them, like, really, how Pomnyun Singh is very funny sometimes, a very serious question, he can turn it into kind of joke and make the, people who, person who asked the question kind of end up saying, laughing with him kind of thing. So how do I do that? That's my question.
다른 사람 얘기는 두고 내 자신에게 물어보세요.
So forget what others tell you or ask you. Just ask yourself.
지금 내가 좋은 일을 하면, 불교를 믿으면 죽어서 극락에 간다. 이런 거를 가르쳐서 거기에 내가 지금 따르고 있는가.
Am I following this Buddhist? Am I following Jungto's teaching because he's teaching me that if I do good here, if I believe in Buddhism right now in this life, then after I die, I'll go to some nirvana.
내가 불교를 믿으면 부자가 된다든지
Or if I believe in Buddhism, I'll become rich.
출세를 한다든지
I'll have a better job.
이런 걸 가르치고 있는가?
Is this what Pomnyun Sunim is teaching?
누군가에게 의지하고 그 사람을 믿고 따르면 좋은 일이 된다. 이렇게 가르치고 있는가?
So is he teaching you to depend on something, rely on somebody in order to be better?
그렇지 않다.
Yes. If that's not so,
그렇다면 다른 사람이 말하는 것에 내가 구애받을 필요가 뭐가 있어요?
then you have no cause to worry of what others think of you.
내가 내 인생의 주인으로 살아가라고 가르칩니다.
Because we teach that you live as a master of your own life.
나의 이익만을 추구하지 말고 다른 사람에 대한 배려도 하라고 가르칩니다.
We also teach that don't look out just for number one, but look to others to help.
지나치게 다른 사람에 대해서 너무 신경 쓰지 말고 너 자신이 더 중요하고도 가르칩니다.
But do not be too overly concerned about others. Consider yourself the most important.
근데 내가 뭐 내 인생에 잘못될 일이 있겠어요?
Then, what else? What can go wrong with your life?
뭐 돈을 많이 내라는 것도 아니고
We're not asking you to pay more money.
뭐 어떤 하루 종일 뭐 어떤 뭐 굶으라든지 뭘 먹지 말라든지 뭘 하지 말라든지 이런 얘기도 아니고
So no one's telling you to starve yourself for a day or to do something that you don't want to.
근데 뭐가 문제예요?
Then where's the problem?
그게 왜 남이 말한다고 내가 영향을 받습니까?
Then why be affected by what some others might tell you?
그러나 그들의 입장에서는 그렇게 볼 수도 있겠다.
But realize that from their perspective, they can see this way.
내가 만약에 스님이 됐습니다.
For example, you became a monk.
고등학교 때 스님이 됐어요.
I became a monk in high school, actually.
우리 선생님 볼 땐 내가 문제예요.
Then I'm a problem child from my school teacher's perspective.
또 우리 친구들도 보면 좀 문제가 있다고 생각해.
And my friends also thought there was something wrong with me.
우리 부모님은 큰일 났다고 생각해.
Our parents thought the world was ending.
근데 내가 무슨 문제가 있습니까?
Then what problem did I really have?
남을 죽였습니까?
Did I kill anyone?
남의 물건을 훔쳤습니까?
Did I steal from anyone?
남을 괴롭혔습니까?
Did I cause suffering to anyone?
남에게 아무런 나쁜 짓도 하지 않았잖아요.
I didn't do anything wrong.
남 그냥 내 길을 간 거잖아요.
I just walked my own path.
그러나 그들은 그들이 원하는 게 있습니다.
But these others, there are things that these others want of me.
그들이 원하는 것이 안 되니까 나한테 문제를 삼는 거예요.
And they were concerned because they would not get from me what they wanted of me.
내가 그들의 노예입니까? 그들이 원하는 대로 다
am I-
하게?
But am I their slave to do their bidding?
부모가 원하는 대로 한다면 내가 부모의 노예지. 그게 무슨 자주인입니까?
If I were to do everything my parents wanted of me, then I'm their slave, not an independent person.
부모님이 나를 키워준 것은 고마운 일이에요.
And I am grateful for them having nurtured me.
난 노예로 살자고 이렇게 자라난 건 아니에요.
But I didn't grow up to be their slave.
내가 주인이 될 때 그것이 진정으로 부모에게도 보람이 있는 거 아니에요?
But when I become a true master of my own life, that should really be the true meaning to my own parents.
그러니까 그 자기에게 문제를 제기하는 사람을 시비하지 말고 본인이 지금 그런 말에 흔들린다는 얘기예요. 흔들리니까 이게 뭐라고 답해야지 이런 생각을 하는 거예요.
So you're asking your question on how you can respond to those others who worry about you because you doubt yourself. And if you don't doubt yourself, you don't really have to really care about what others may think of you.
빙긋이 웃으면 돼요.
All you have to do is just smile
뭐가 문제인데? 이런 물어보면 되죠.
and ask back, what do you think is the problem?
그러니까 그런 거에 너무 신경 쓸 필요는 없습니다.
So there's no cause for worry.
그래도 혹시 그들의 말에 귀를 기울여서 나를 다 좋아하는 사람이고 사랑하는 사람이니까 혹시 내가 집착하고 있나 이렇게 한번 점검해 보는 건 필요해요.
But because they are the loved ones and they're speaking for your help, for your sake, maybe you take their question and you cause it as a way for you to look really deep inside yourself and saying, am I really addicted or am I really obsessing?
오늘 우리가 기후위기를 극복하려면 소비를 줄여야 합니다.
In order to overcome the climate change that's facing us, we have to reduce our consumption.
근데 세계는 지금 점점 소비를 늘리는 것을 발전이라고 하고 있습니다.
But right now we define advancement as more consumption.
그것을 우선 거슬러야 합니다.
Then we have to stop that.
그들이 볼 때는 이상하죠.
Then others might think that we are weird trying to stop consumption.
평화를 가져오려면 종교가 다르고 성별이 다르고 인종이 달라도 우리는 차별하지 않아야 합니다.
In order to bring about true peace, we have to stop discrimination based on gender, race, and any other classifications.
그러나 종교인들은 다른 종교를 인정하는 것을 거부합니다.
But religious leaders refuse to validate any other religion.
다른 종교로 가면 배신자라 그럽니다.
And if you change or convert to another religion, they call you a traitor.
다른 성별에 대해서도 마찬가지입니다.
And same thing with a different gender.
다른 종교, 다른 국가에 대해서도 마찬가지.
The same thing with a different nationality.
진실로 가는 길은 거짓된 사회에서는 오히려 아웃사이더가 되기가 쉽습니다.
So walking the pathway to the truth, you will be seen as an outlier in a world filled with lies.
이게 인생이에요.
And that's life.
근데 그들의 얘기에 그렇게 지나치게 귀 기울일 필요가 있습니까?
Therefore, you don't need to give a lot of weight to those others, what they tell you.
부모님이 나를 키워준 건 고마운 일이지만은 그들이 어떤 인생을 살고 있나를 살펴야 합니다.
You're grateful for the love and the nurture of your parents, but you also have to ask, what kind of life are they leading?
그들이 기후 위기를 극복하는 인생을 삽니까?
Are they living a life that helps overcome climate crisis
평화를 위해서 삽니까?
or enhance peace
정의를 위해서 삽니까?
or enhance justice
인권을 위해서 삽니까?
or human rights?
근데 무엇이 우리가 그들의 말에 귀를 기울여야 합니까?
Then I don't know, how much weight do you really need to give to others?
그러나 우리는 그런 그들도 인정은 해야 합니다.
At the same time, you have to acknowledge the fact that they are leading their own lives.
그들은 사물을 그렇게밖에 보지 못하는 것이기 때문에요.
Because they are living their lives the best of their abilities in the worldview that they hold.
우리가 계획에 말을 하기를 원한다든지 이렇게 요구할 수는 없지 않습니까? 그것을 인정하고 그 조건 속에서 우리는 사랑하듯이.
You cannot ask a dog to speak, for example. So you have to acknowledge people who live within their own worldview, within the limitations of their lives.
그래서 조금 더 세상의 얘기에 흔들리지 않았으면 좋겠습니다.
So I want you to stop doubting yourself and the path that you have chosen for yourself.
Pomnyun Sunim, for the first time, I might have to disagree with you. Well, I have no doubt in my heart about what I'm doing is wrong, and I see myself practicing for the rest of my life because my biggest concern is I don't want to be the person that kind of block my families and friends to experience, Buddhist teaching. And because of how I am acting, because it's so crazy about Jungto Society and Buddhist teaching and Dharma school and everything, and it's automatically, I might kind of have them move forward with their, curiosity to learn more about you. So that's my biggest concern. I have no doubt about my faith in Jungto Society and Buddhist teaching, and I love practicing every day. But I just want to be able to introduce my families and friends and have them this, lighthearted and peaceful life that I'm enjoying it.
나에게 좋은 거지 그들에게 좋다고는 할 수 없습니다.
This is good for you, but you can't really say necessarily it's good for them.
나에게 좋다고 그들에게 좋을 거라고 너무 단정하면 그것은 자기가 불법을 제대로 모르는 겁니다.
And if you decide, if you think that since this is good for me, it should be good for them, then you don't know Buddhism well.
그냥 그들에게 좋음을 이렇게 소개할 수는 있습니다.
Of course, you can introduce to them, the goodness that you feel,
그러나 선택은 그들의 자유입니다.
but it's up to them to choose.
그것을 약간 강요하듯이 해서는 안 됩니다.
You cannot demand that they share your goodness.
한 번, 두 번 하다가 안 된다고 포기하는 것은 오히려 강요하는 것의 반작용입니다.
And if you recommend once or twice and then giving up on them, that's almost the converse.
우리는 꾸준히 그냥 안내할 뿐입니다.
All you can expect to do is become a patient guide
선택은 그들의 자유입니다.
and leave the ultimate choice up to them.
그런 관점을 가지면 좋겠습니다.
So I want you to hold that perspective.
네, 스님 잘 알겠습니다.
네, 잠깐 소감 듣겠습니다.
Let's go back to the questioners to get a little comments from them.
Same thing. I was not ready to ask question today, but actually that wasn't the question for the next week. I was going to ask you if you could recommend 10 books that in Korean or in English, because I really love your insight. But so when I was listening to you, I think I remember one of the your teachings when someone say, "Hey, you look drunk," and person says, "No, I'm not drunk." That means they're really drunk and doesn't look right. But instead of saying, "Oh, you know what? I might be drunk," and I think I'm going to do the same thing when someone says, "You know what? You look obsessed with the Pomnyun Sunim." I'm going to say, "You know what? Yeah, you're right, because it is good for me. It works for me. I think I'm going to do that. Just more firmly, gracefully, and kind of wittyful." I think that's what I'm going to do. So thank you so much.
네. 앞에 얘기하고 종합해서 잠깐 정리해 본다면요. 만약 책을 읽는다면 저는 여러분들이 좀 물질에 대한 이해가 좀 필요하다. 물질에 대한 이해는 두 가지예요. 물질의 근원이 뭐냐 하는 문제와 이 우주가 처음에 어떻게 해서 탄생되었느냐 하는 우주의 역사에 대해서 좀 알 필요가 있다 이렇게 생각합니다.
So to kind of summarize what we discussed today, and if we were to kind of delve into some kind of recommended readings you might be asking, I think it would help you to read more deeply about kind of a natural science, especially about the history of the universe, how the universe came about.
그리고는 그 물질을 기반으로 해서 생명이 어떻게 탄생되고 발전해 왔느냐 하는 생명의 역사와 생명이라는 게 뭐냐 하는 그 생명의 기본 구조를 이해하는 게 필요합니다.
And how the worlds came from this inorganic material into the organic, and how that gave birth to life forms and the underlying the functioning of life.
그리고 생명을 바탕해서 인류의 종이 언제부터 시작이 되고 어떻게 지금에 이렇게 됐는가 하는 인류의 역사에 대해서 공부가 필요합니다.
And a study of how we came about as a series of Homo species, based on the life and how we evolved into being.
그리고 인류 문화사, 문명사 공부가 필요합니다.
And also the study of history and cultural anthropology of humanity.
인류 문화사, 문명사라는 것은 거의 정신작용에 속하는 겁니다.
Because it talks about our collective mental functioning as people.
그리고 지금의 우리의 정신작용이 어떻게 이루어지는지 여기에 대한 기본적인 이해가 필요합니다.
And an essential baseline understanding of how our own cognitive functions actually happen.
여러분들이 직업을 무엇으로 갖든 어떤 학문을 하든 이런 바탕 위에 해야 편중되지 않습니다.
No matter what professions you hold or what academic you major in, to base that study upon this baseline knowledge will allow you to be more balanced.
그런 바탕 위에 내가 어떻게 인생을 자유롭고 행복하게 살아갈 거냐는 과제를 가지시기 바랍니다.
And ask that question, how can I live my life happier and with freedom, without suffering, upon that baseline of understanding.
윤리나 도덕이나 관습이나 습관이나 종교나 믿음이나 이런 것에 너무 묶여서는 안 됩니다.
Without holding yourself down too much based on traditions or ethics or concepts or beliefs.
네, 다음에 또 뵙겠습니다.
With that, I'll see you again next time.